Hi, I'm Christopher Warnock of Renaissance Astrology. Today I'm very pleased to present a new casting of bronze Jupiter Al-Alim Talismans. These are for wisdom and for knowledge of the subtlest aspects of the mystic sciences and their most hidden secrets. Which sounds pretty good. I particularly like having talismans for wisdom and for esoteric knowledge and practice. Wealth and protection talismans, those are our most popular talismans. There's no doubt about it. And it's definitely important. Wealth and protection talismans I use myself. But how much better it is to get wisdom than gold, to get insight rather than silver. Just, again, quoting from the Bible there. So now, I know not everybody thinks so, but, definitely for people that are really interested in astrological magic and are pulled to the traditional side, I think there's really an inner desire here for knowledge and ultimately for wisdom. I think that it really makes sense that if you want to have esoteric mastery, that you're going to go ahead and use magical or spiritual means to do that. It's going to be more effective, actually. If you're looking for a spiritual effect from a spiritual means like a talisman or magic, you're probably going to have a better effect. So in a lot of ways, this is something that you can do more effectively. I get a lot of people, and it's really, really common for people when they get talismans to report back that they had dreams. And so I think that's a really, a key way of gaining knowledge. There's a tendency to want to look at, like, for example, magic squares or something, some kind of mechanical thing, or getting it from a book or something like that, when originally this knowledge came from direct inspiration, like I said, in dreams or visions, or directly from the angels or spirits involved, and I believe in many cases. So, in a lot of ways, we're just keying back into this, and in terms of our knowledge. And also, what we're looking for is the structure of reality. And so this is going to help us, in that sort of quest. So let me talk a little bit about the Jupiter Al-Alim talisman specifically. You can see them. Absolutely gorgeous talisman, made with the Ilm al-Haruf, which is this Islamic art of, it's very much like Kabbalistic. I think more people are used to that, but it's a very similar sort of process, using magic squares, using transposing numbers and letters, because in Arabic, just like in Hebrew, the numbers are letters in many cases, and then all sorts of complex transpositions and uses of this really deep esoteric art. This is the standard image that we provide with it. This is a really great Jupiter image by Nigel Jackson. That's I always love to use this image for meditation and for consecration. It's all a very important part of the whole process. This talisman is said to bring knowledge of the subtlest aspects of the sciences and the most hidden secrets. It teaches the use of the deep and most profound subtleties of esoteric wisdom and mystical knowledge. And with the Jupiter version, the user is said to obtain a profound understanding of esoteric wisdom and what the mystic sciences contain. So this is a pretty powerful talisman, for somebody who's interested, like I said, in wisdom, and particularly in understanding esoteric arts and the deeper, patterning and underlying forms of the cosmos. So this talisman comes from the Shams al-Marif, which is that translates as the Sun of Wisdom. This is a book that's even more well known in the Arabic-speaking world than Picatrix. If you ask people about it, I've got a link to a video on it. It's got 13,000 views, which is way above anything else I've done. And obviously, a lot of people are Arabic-speaking, or coming from that milieu, and they're interested in it or watching the video. And that's what accounting for its popularity. So you can see this is very important. It was attributed to the 13th century Sufi and master of the esoteric sciences, Al-Buni. The scholars looked at it and said it's likely a 16th, 17th century origin. And again, to them, that's the end of it. They say, oh, well, it's not Al-Buni, so it's a piece of garbage. It's like the reality of it is that this book is filled with all sorts of mystic knowledge. And it's again like a cookbook. If you said, oh, well, actually, this cookbook was written by so-and-so, so you have to throw it out, that wouldn't make any sense, because the recipes work. So again, this is not an academic text. This is a text of great wisdom and knowledge, and it works. So, it's interesting to know what the history of it is, but that's not definitive in terms of whether the efficacy of the book. So, I've got some links. I've got a whole page on the Shams al-Marif. Also, there's a link on my website of a chapter translating the Al-Alim Talisman. And then there's the video that I was talking about, a link to that. Now, people will often ask me, say, there's an English translation. It's like, apparently there's a partial translation that's, I don't know if it's available yet. It's coming out. Here's the thing. Even if there's a full English translation of it, unless you understand the Ilm al-Huruf, unless you're totally trained in this, both you need astrology as well to do this, but more in the Islamic sciences, you wouldn't be able to use the book. Okay, it's a lot like Picatrix. I mean, I know it's a great book, but I'm sure a lot of people are buying copies of Picatrix, opening it up, and like, that's it. They put it away because they don't have the background knowledge. So, this is not New Age. This is not something you can pick up in 15 minutes. And I'm really dependent on my jeweler, Muhammad Ajmal in Pakistan, who is a master of this Ilm al-Huruf and is in touch with traditional teachers and is able to call on them for their assistance as well as the tradition that he works in. So, we're just really privileged to be able to, I feel, because I have a Sufi background, I'm always very excited about having these talismans available. And so, if you look at the Shams al-Arif, really the focus in this is it's not a magical book insofar as it's, all about, spells or like demon summoning or something like that. It's a lot like Picatrix, and even goes beyond Picatrix in that its focus is on understanding the nature of reality and the building blocks of the cosmos, which really are the names, words, and letters. What we think of as a letter is really just a shadow or echo of these divine letters and divine words. And, it's classic in the Quran. They'll say be, Allah says be, and it is. And that's all the one has to do is to utter the word, and then the thing comes into existence. So really what we're dealing with is this idea of the letters and words as the building blocks of the cosmos. And the letters, like I said, that we see is just shadows or echoes of the underlying reality. I mean, a good example of that is the 28 mansions of the moon. There's 28 letters in the Arabic alphabet. Tremendous amount of esoteric knowledge, and also potentially, applied spiritual effects like magic that can be done with that knowledge. Now, one of the big stumbling blocks here for Westerners is that this comes out of an Islamic tradition, and that's there's just so much misinformation, so much propaganda, and so much prejudice against Islam is ground into us in the West, and it just freaks people out. They don't even want to think about it. They just don't even. They're hard enough to get people to do anything esoteric because they're afraid. And you add the Islamic stuff, and they just times 1,000. What I would say about this is all religions, all spiritual traditions are plagued by modern fundamentalists who use it for power and whose main tool is hatred and bigotry. So the esoteric traditions in Islam, like Sufism, are constantly under attack by fundamentalists. It's like the people that people are afraid of, the terrorism and all that sort of stuff, those people hate Sufis, and they hate anything esoteric. So that's probably a thumbs up as far as I'm concerned. So again, if you take a look at the Shams al-Arif and the wisdom that contains it's not your thing, that's fine. I mean, everyone's got to find what really resonates for them. But it just makes me sad if that rejection comes out of fear and comes out of prejudice. So, but really it's up to you. Everyone's got it. But I'm so happy to be able to provide these talismans and to be a bridge, to be working together with Muhammad Ajmal to produce these, because this is a concrete step that I can take against hatred and bigotry. This is a way that I can expose this incredible wisdom and knowledge that resonates with me very strongly, and it's very positive, without, and I don't have to attack anybody. I don't have to get angry. I can show a way of wisdom and acceptance. So that's, like I said, I'm always very happy to have all the Sufi talismans that we have, all the talismans we have from the Shams al-Arif. It makes me very happy to provide those. And again, like I said, if you're like, that's not your thing, that's cool. But if it is, if you have a slight opening to it, then I would encourage you to take a look at these talismans. So let me just talk a little bit about the underlying basis of the Jupiter Al-Alim talismans. Many of the talismans in the Shams al-Arif are the 99 beautiful names. And if you don't like the term God, I don't particularly like it either as a term, or Allah or whatever. You can just, you can equally say that they're the 99 beautiful names of the One. And these are really underlying relationships between the One and various aspects of the cosmos. And one of the most interesting things, Ibn Arabi, who's a very famous Sufi mystic, he makes the point. He says, if you look at, for example, the beautiful name Arab, which means the Lord, said the Lord is not complete without the servant. This is a relationship. So it's like that relationship of lordship has to have you as well. I mean, God, in a sense, is not complete without you as a servant. And so, that's kind of a really intense approach, is that there's the unity there. This is a specific type of unity, and each of the 99 beautiful names expresses a different type of unity. And these are, as I said, underlying relationships that make up the nature of the cosmos. Now, Al-Alim is very interesting. Al-Alim is the all-knowing or the omniscient, the one who comprehends everything. And so this really is, I think, really in a sense, the ultimate name for those seeking, an ultimate relationship, for those seeking esoteric knowledge and wisdom, and definitely something that's useful to get in touch with. So cool, very awesome talisman. Again, I think that it's something that you should take a look at, and all the rest of our Shams Amrif and Sufi talismans. So take a look at the links on the website. Take a look at the new Jupiter Al-Alim talisman. I think you'll find it's worthwhile if it resonates for you. If it doesn't, it's cool too. But I'm just so happy, as I said, to be able to offer these talismans, to have them available, and to, like I said, sort of put out there an alternative to the prejudice, and also make available this incredible power, that melds so beautifully with our astrological tradition, which is itself, I said, Picatrix was originally written in Arabic. I mean, the astrology, traditional astrology we practice in the West comes from these Arabic-speaking pioneers that synthesized it in the 8th to 9th century. So we owe a great debt to it. And again, like I said, I have a personal connection as well. So I'm very excited about these new talismans. Check them out, and I hope you like them as much as I do.